So we are almost. Oh no, I shouldn't say that. Okay, so it's the faction map as last time. Little recap. These guys split apart a few times ago. They lost the war. Concessions being Greece is back. They lost Romania, as well as Egypt and Libya. And then these guys got split up, which used to be this colony. And then blah blah. You can see Muslims, uh, French, English speaking. That is. And we left off with Taiwan being seized by the syndicalist Chinese. We'll get onto that because many things are happening. For example, a civil war in Brazil. Oh. Um, so it's a pretty big Brazil. You wonder how does this happen? Well, my friend, the syndicalists took advantage of facts that it's kind of glued together, and maybe may or may not have said, hey, all you partisans, if you uprise right now, you'll be living in a very secure state. And the Uruguayan partisans believed him, and the Bolivian partisans believed him. And there we go, all of a sudden you have civil war in Brazil, and it's in the jungly area as well, it's not good news. Then, Guianans used to be owned by the syndicalist nations, kind of rose up because they're all more ethnically different and language-wise different than the Brazilians. They want you happy. Now all of a sudden Brazil's got a bit of a problem in their hands, as you can see. As support starts funneling in from the syndicalists, America don't really want to get involved. They do want to get involved, but they're a bit broke and also don't really care to try to climb down in Brazil again. And then the north was quickly swept across by the syndicalists. The pioneers specialise in jungle fighting in the Brazilian. We don't quickly take control of it. This is like a time lapse, and they kind of support networks for it. They start moving up the coast to some of the bigger cities. The Brazilian government is in crisis. A few landings across the coast. The economy collapses. These guys being propped up by the syndicalists at this point just move straight through, and Brazil capitulates. And it's not a clean peace conference either, because some people aren't happy to be putting in this new, entirely big, massive syndicalist Brazil. For example, even though they're like, oh no, that doesn't happen. No, ignore me. Yeah, so for now, they're part of the syndicalist faction, which is good news for the syndicalist nationalists out there, which doesn't work really. What kind of? I want to be going on you, I'm not clicking off that. And all of a sudden, the Americas are being reintegrated into the global order, and the syndicalists are spreading out everywhere, and the Americans aren't happy about it. Some more people are willing to make some governmental changes for the sake of keeping their independence. For example, the Venezuelans submit to the syndicalists, put a government in place funded by the rest of the global syndicalists to stop them being retaken by America. And now all of a sudden, a lot more oil is owned by the syndicalists, and a lot more. Well, just it's, the more they spread out, the worse it is for the world. Let's be honest. Communism probably not good. But then again, these are nationalists, these are nationalists, these are nationalists, these are nationalists. They're liberal and they're questionable. So realistically, there's no one really good in the world apart from the yellow guys, and they're probably still questionable because the Japanese still denying their war crimes. The Chinese split apart. One's probably treating people horribly. Don't even talk about like Southeast Asia work conditions, man. India's probably the most liberal country on earth right now, apart from Sweden actually, but they're just not involved in anything. And Switzerland, but there's probably some dodgy dealings with gold and vaults there, and taxes. So maybe not too clean. I think Sweden's probably the best one. Right. Cool. I was going to say something, I can't remember for the life of me what it was. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Say. Yes, that's what I was going to say. The remnants of these nations down here who don't want to submit to any outside orders. So basically, the Chileans and Argentinians like each other, right? On the basis that they were together for ages and then split apart. But now they're together again in a faction that they call the Hispanic Alliance. I don't know, that's all I got right now. The Latin Alliance. And they make it to avoid them being taken over by the syndicalists. And they put it at a different side of Peru. And Peru say, hey, can they join? And Colombia shattered from the war before. And all of a sudden, pretty big alliance South America has just kind of safeguarded them. The Mexicans don't join yet because they kind of don't see eye to eye. They're more nationalistic and very unstable. And the Caribbean are about to just, probably get land grabbed. So probably a bit apprehensive to let them in and just get dragged into a war. It's a bit messed up, but realistically, what they lose from losing that. The oil in Curacao is owned by the syndicalists and the Dutch again, I suppose. They don't directly own it, it's to Venezuela. Yeah. But the Syndicalists are more liberal leaning than like a Stalinist nation, right? It's more democratic, I suppose. I'll look into it more. Cool. And that's what I was gonna do. You might remember I said last time that the Kurdish partisans here were funded by syndicalists to let them live. The syndicalists using funny business and say, "Hey Turkey, if we're gonna re-invade you, don't give them their rightful claim in the east of your country." Turkey took one look, said, "Yeah, we can't handle that. It's scummy. What we can do?" And also made one wrong move. They're crashing in Liz. They're crashing in Liz, and these will get even worse. So we can't just go accept their terms, and they lose the east of their country to the Kurdish, who now put a syndicalist government in place. Will it last? No. Realistically, again, airdrop supplies and money. Airdrop supplies and airdrop money. They might need to, while giving them the money, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Might be some dodgy dealings. But yeah, and there we go. Now it's syndicalist Kurdistan, much more land, and Turkey's just getting beaten into oblivion. Okay. Anyways, back to where we left off. This did happen chronologically. This is the first thing that happened, but I want to get other stuff out of the way. My bad, I was pretty hit the mic. Yeah, Yellow faction declare one syndicalist. You guys see China, Taiwan rather. Oh, I'm about to get politically assassinated. It's called China. They CCP and crashing in. I meant Taiwan. Alright. Actually, I don't mean anything. I'm a neutral man. I could just move on, man. Yeah, basically, it's gonna happen anyways because they kind of want Yunnan, XMS in Hoi. Big reference to Tibet, Xinjiang, random guy here that still exists now. Which should have got absorbed ages ago. Let's say that's meant to happen. My bad. It's a random warlord that Rizza was meant to die after a while, but he still lived on, and then he died and was absorbed by Xinjiang. There you go. And there we go. Big China moments. Splitting apart, reorganize themselves. They got this. And in all honesty of you, this just causes a big war. So the yellow declare on the reds to get Taiwan back, which leads the greens to declare one of reds because they want to claim Manchuria. They also declare war on the yellows. They want more claims down here, and also they want the yellows gone. The greens declare on the yellows as Pakistan and India. They also declare war on the Turkish because they want this Arabian lands. The Turkish. I don't know why I said they. The Africans declare war on the syndicalists for these African holdings, and the North Americans declare on the syndicalists for taking Iceland. And in all honesty of you, I know this is annoying, being able to wait 24 hours or so, because I want to write this down more, but that's what's happening. Goodbye, my friends. I didn't write this down, wasn't plan out more. Yes, goodbye.